What's up, YouTube? This is your girl, Megan. Welcome back to the Hood Astro Queen, to all of my returning subscribers. However, if this is your first time joining me on today, be sure to hit that subscribe button because you know you want to. Also, if you are interested in booking your very own birth chart reading, feel free to contact me at astrowerld@gmail.com and we can go ahead and get you squared away on today. So with that being said, today I am coming to you guys once more with yet another celebrity reading. This time, it's not so much going to be concentrated on the birth chart aspect, as I've already done a birth chart reading on Offset, as much as it's going to be discussing his transits and as they relate to this most recent headline that he's found himself in. So those of you all who may not be familiar, basically Offset hit the news or made headlines once again after allegedly having his social media accounts hacked, or so they say. He and Cardi have been doing this whole campaign tour where they get on Instagram Live and explain over and over again how his account was hacked. And all of this came about following a girl named Jade. I think she's Tekashi 6ix9ine's girlfriend. And actually one of the girls that CardiB allegedly had assaulted sometime last year at a bar for fucking with Offset then. So this girl comes out and says that Offset was DMing her recently, and she shows the receipts, she shows the DMs, and then just so happens after that, supposedly, conveniently, Offset's account gets hacked. And so yeah, and about that, I want to talk about Offset's, like I said, very briefly, his birth chart, but also his transit and why I think it's full of shit. Now, he may very well have had his social media accounts hacked in some other capacity, but I do feel like he did reach out to Jada, and I do feel like Offset is still cheating. And yeah, we're going to go ahead and talk about that. Now, Offset was born December 14th, 1991 in Lawrenceville, Georgia. Kiara Cephas, whatever the fuck his name is, okay? And his natal Venus is at the 9th degree of Scorpio, which makes him very, 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 very sexually driven, okay? Venus Scorpio individuals can be very promiscuous, not to mention the fact that he's a Sagittarius sun. Y'all know, if you've been with my channel for a minute, you know I will shout this from the mountaintops, even as a Sagittarius myself. Sagittarius is our thoughts, and the men are the worst types of thoughts because they are very much attached to their freedom, and it's very hard for them to settle down. They like options. They like variety. They want different types of women. Okay, and particularly when it comes to like celebrities and stuff, I notice Sagittarius men love fucking with women from other nationalities. I mean, I guess you don't have to be a celebrity for that because Sagittarius does deal with multiculturalism. It makes me think back to when Offset got caught cheating on Cardi B with some big booty African chick a few years ago. They are like the type of niggas who will fly halfway around the world to go fuck some pussy or fly some pussy out to them type shit. But back to his Venus at the 9th degree of Scorpio. That number 9 also deals with sex. So it kind of, like I said, reinforces this theme. And Scorpio is core ruled by Mars. So it's like, he's very sexually charged. He can be very promiscuous. And that Scorpio energy could also produce infidelity and a lot of secret underhanded bullshit. So his Venus is actually squaring his Chiron, which is, surprise, surprise, at that 9th degree of Leo, which could absolutely result in a lot of extramarital outside affairs, even ones that could produce children. I wouldn't be surprised if he's been in a relationship with a woman and then fucked around and had children on her. I'm not saying that's what happened with Cardi B, but in general, this can produce that type of situation, so to speak. But it could absolutely deal to where it makes him even feel like empowered when he's fucking around with these different women. Also, his Mars is at the 10th degree of Sagittarius. Sagittarius Mars individuals, you can even look at that as kind of compounding that Sagittarian energy times 10, these people can be incredibly promiscuous. Okay, with Mars governing your sexuality, your sex drive, your sexual urges and inclinations. These people can be just reckless, wild, especially if they don't have any type of moral or religious conditioning or something to where, they kind of have to like make a conservative effort into like controlling themselves. They can just be wild, okay, sexually off the chain. And almost you can even look at that as being greedy too, because Sagittarius deals with excess where he can't get enough of fucking. And I'm pretty sure it's hard for him to find all of like the sex that he needs in one relationship, And his Mars is squaring his Jupiter, which is at the 14th degree of Virgo. So that shows that even with him trying to curve it, right, he might make actual conscious attempts to kind of like control himself or practice some form of self-restraint. It's very difficult. It's very, very difficult for him. So I wanted you guys to have that understanding of who he is fundamentally by taking a look at his natal chart. If you want to get more into his chart, I did a reading on Offset like last year sometime, so y'all can go check that video out. But as it pertains to this particular incident and the transits that are taking place, he has some very interesting activity going on. Now, Offset is currently experiencing what we call an inverse nodal return in astrology. And this is where the transiting north node at the time falls directly on the person's south node and vice versa. So the transiting south node is also conjoined to that person's north node. And this is a very interesting period that happens, I would say maybe like every, I don't want to say 14 years, but it happens once when you're 9, once again when you're 27, which Offset is 27, so he's overdue for this nodal return, the inverse nodal return. But then it's going to happen once again when he turns 46. So I'm fucked up at math. Maybe that's not 14 years, but my point being, it happens every so often, and during this time period there is this activation of karmic debt. Okay, and a lot of your south node tendencies tend to be intensified. So, for example, with Offset, the transiting north node is currently at the 9th degree of Cancer. Once again, that number 9, reoccurring, 9 dealing with sex, and Cancer dealing with women. And it's conjoined to Offset's Cancer South Node, okay, which is at the 10th degree. So it's 1 degree off, but it could still, the effects can still be pretty profound where it's at. And it could actually get worse. So this could activate all kinds of karmic issues with women and family, particularly issues with him not being able to detach himself from women. Now, transiting Venus is at the 8th degree of Capricorn currently, and it's opposing Offset's South Node, his Cancer South Node, which could absolutely deal with him reaching out to a woman from the past. So that's why I was like, ooh. So even if the other allegations or what they're saying about him being hacked is true, I'm pretty sure it's a cover up, or it's just, it just so happened that they're focusing on that in attempts to kind of distract people from the fact that he really did reach out to Jade. That's not a farce, okay? But also, this opposition between transiting Venus and his South Node could deal with him being in a relationship that helps him protect his reputation, because that transiting Venus would be conjoined to his Capricorn North Node. And that Capricorn North Node is literally your reputation, your business. So him being worried about, like, okay, money wise, him and Cardi coming together, making a conservative effort to like, okay, we just gonna do what we have to do, because like I gotta save face at some point. The transiting North Node is also trining his Venus, right, which is in Scorpio, reinforcing him receiving help from Cardi, that support from Cardi. And you can even look at that as her even keeping his secrets, or them kind of taking a united front in order to preserve their family unit, even with that transiting North Node in Cancer. Also, also with the transit in North Node and Offset's Cancer South Node opposing Offset's natal Uranus, this could absolutely positively point towards issues with social media, like in the sense where there could be some type of scandal that comes about by way of social media that can impact his reputation, career, and social standing. Okay, his or the transiting South Node, which is at once again at the 9th degree of Capricorn, conjoined to Offset's North Node at the 10th degree of Capricorn, can also activate, like I said, a lot of karma surrounding his reputation and his business situation. And with transiting Saturn at the 18th degree of Capricorn, conjoined to his Neptune, he's going to have to like walk a very, very thin line, like a tight rope when it comes to his infidelities and transgressions, because this conjunction is going to expose him and is going to make him very subject to scandal. It just is, which is why it kind of seems like lately it's like it's always something with them. It's always something with him because he's going to get exposed every time he steps out of line. Same thing with transiting Neptune and Pisces, opposing that Jupiter or his Jupiter in Virgo. You know, scandal, being exposed, secrets coming to light, and things like that. So my dude got to be very careful. You know, very, 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 very careful. And this is just a part of who he is. So, yeah, I thought this was very interesting to touch on. Y'all drop down in the comment section. Let me know what you think about CardiB and Offset. Like, this is just a hot mess. So, yeah. And in the meantime, make sure you practice unconditional self-love so that you can love others. And until the next video, I holla.